We've prepped all of our models in order to cut with a Boolean. It is possible to actually cut multiple times. I could do 6, 7, 8, 9, however many Boolean operations inside the same object. However, just for stability's sake, I recommend that you combine or attach all of these cutting objects together to a single object and then do one operation. And that's less likely to cause issues, I think. To attach the objects together, at least one of them needs to be an editable poly or editable mesh. Select one of those boxes, right-click, and choose Convert to Editable Poly. Now it's no longer a box, it's an editable poly object, and either from the Modify panel or from the ribbon, we can access the Attach tool. And I'm doing it from the Modify panel. Here we go, Attach. Click on that, and then go around and select each one of these boxes. Make sure that you're not clicking on the walls. And as I do this, you'll notice that these are changing color as they attach to indicate they're part of the selected object. Okay, so that's all one giant object. I can right-click to exit the Attach tool. I can verify that it's a single object by unselecting, deselecting, maybe moving it around just to verify. I'll undo that with Control-Z. Now I'm ready to do the Boolean. You might want to save your scene before you do a Boolean operation. That way, if there's a problem, you can go back to an earlier version of your scene. I want to cut holes in the walls, so the walls are going to be the primary object or operand A. I'll select the walls, go to the Create panel, in Geometry, and in the categories here, we want to go to Compound Objects. And if nothing is selected, then the Boolean button will be grayed out. So when I deselect, I can't actually click on Boolean. So I got to have something selected, then click on Boolean, and we've got our Boolean parameters here. Let's expand the command panel a bit. We've got one operand in here, which is walls, and we want to bring the cutter objects in as well. We'll click on Add Operands up here, and then click on the boxes. The default operation for a Boolean is a union, which combines the volumes. What we want actually is a subtraction. We'll go down here to Operand Parameters with that box 06 or whatever it's called listed there. Click on Subtract, and now we've cut the hole. And then we can click in the viewport here and right-click to exit out of that tool, and we've got our walls. Looks pretty clean. Now you see here these edges here, those have to be there. Otherwise, this polygon will be illegal. As I was saying before, you can't have a polygon that has a hole in the middle of it. So the Boolean has actually created these edges intentionally to make sure that this polygon doesn't have a hole in it. It's not a donut shape. If you had an issue with the Boolean, the whole object might disappear, or you might get corrupt geometry. But because we've done all those manual edits in advance and cut and sliced through at the appropriate places, we've avoided all those problems. Very good. I recommend after you do a Boolean that you save the scene to a new file name, then convert the object to editable poly, and that will make the Boolean operation permanent, and then save again to another file name. Just like we saw earlier in the course with the modifier stack, we don't want to remove the ability to edit our object later in the future. If I save this now with a collapsed modifier stack, then I would lose the ability to, for example, change the operands and so on. You would save and then convert to editable poly and then save again. So I'm going to go ahead and convert to editable poly. That makes the Boolean permanent, and then you'd want to save again. So I'm going to actually save as a new file. I'll call it 0607 cut with Boolean finished. And that's how you work with Booleans in 3ds Max. Again, I can't stress enough that your polygon mesh has to be clean, and you can't have any weird surfaces or faces. Can't have polygons with holes in them or anything that's in any way remotely topologically suspect. Otherwise, the Boolean's going to have problems.